Hello, Helen. Sorry I'm late. Hi, Jeremy. No problem. Well, we'd better work out where we are with our project, I suppose. Yeah, I've looked. I've looked at the drawings you've done for my story, the forest, and I think they're brilliant. They really create the atmosphere I had in mind when I was writing it. I'm glad you like them. There are just a few suggestions I like to make. Go ahead. Now, I'm not sure about the drawing of the cave. It's got trees all around it, which is great, but the drawing's a bit too static, isn't it? I think it needs some action. Yes, there's nothing happening. Perhaps I should add the boy Malcolm, isn't it? He would be walking up to it. Yes, let's have Malcolm in the drawing. And what about putting a tiger? That one, the one that he makes friends with a bit later. Maybe it could be sitting under the tree washing itself, and the tiger stops in the middle of what it's doing when it sees Malcolm walking past. That's a good idea. Okay, I'll have a go of that. Then there's a drawing of the crowd of the men and women dancing. They're just outside the forest, and there's a lot going on. That's right. You wanted them to be watching the carnival procession, but I thought it would be too crowded. Do you think it works like this? Yes, I know what you've done. The only thing is, can you add Malcolm to it without changing what's already there? What about having him sitting in the tree trunk on the right of the picture? Yes, that could be fine. And do you want him watching the other people? No, he's been left out all the fun, so I'd like him to be crying. That will contrast nicely with the next picture, where he's laughing at the clowns in the carnival. Right, I will do that. I would do that. And then the drawing of people ice skating in the forest. I wasn't too happy with that one because they're supposed to skating on grass, aren't they? That's right, and it's frozen over. At the moment, it doesn't look quite right. Hmm, I see what you mean. I will have another go at that. A night like wool hats they're wearing. A night like the wool hats they are wearing. Maybe you could give each of them a scarf as well. Yeah, that's easy enough. They can they can be screaming out behind the people to suggest they are skating very fast. Great. Well, that's that's all on the drawings. Right. So you've finished writing your story and I just need to finish illustrating it. And my story and your drawings are done. So the next thing is to decide what exactly we need to write about in the report that goes with the stories. And how are you going to divide the work? Right, Helen? What do you think about including the section on how we planned the project as a whole, Jeremy? That's probably quite important. Yeah, well, you've had most of the good ideas so far. How do you feel about drafting something? And we can go through it together and discuss it. Okay, that seems reasonable. And I could include something on how we came up with the ideas for our two stories, couldn't I? Well, I've started writing something about that. So why don't you do the same and we can include the, the two things. Right. So, what about our interpretation of the stories? Do you need the story about what we think they show, like the value of helping other people, all that sort of thing? That's going to come up later, isn't it? I think everyone in the class is going to read each other's stories and come up their own interpretations, which are going to discuss. Oh, I missed that. So it isn't going to be part of the report at all? No, but we need to write all the illustrations because they're an essential element of children's experience of reading the stories. It's probably easiest for you to write that section, as you know more about drawing than I do. Maybe, but I find it quite hard to write about. I'd happier if you did it. Okay, so when do you think